Hey guys, CALLOUS here, joined by Dekzeh for the second finals. This is the Magma bracket finals between Watermess and Endill. If you haven't yet watched, check out the Jabba and Kurtz finals. Really good set that's going to go on YouTube before this. You'll see it by the time this video is up. In the meantime, we've got this, and I don't want to get too far behind. We have a lead meta. It brick breaks into a tar, and it's going to critical hit on an incoming Coon for Endill.
Yeah, so we can probably tell this is a choice band meta. They don't really run brick break otherwise, and just from the damage also, right? So choice band meta, defensive Suicune.
So let's see. It's too early to know what the teams might be. I want to note, for those of you who don't already know this, that these players were both on Sharks last year in SPL, and this is a rematch of Summer Seasonal from last year, which Endill won 2-1. So these guys probably know each other pretty well, and maybe that adds a new dynamic to the match. Looking like some kind of physical or mixed offense for Watermess based on the meta and the lax, and maybe a more balanced team or a balanced TSS kind of team for Endill. And here is the Skarm.
That sounds about right. I expect like a choice band explosion and a curse explosion Snorlax here. I guess maybe not with the Magneton there. So the Skarmory should be gone here.
Gonna survive. That's either a really bad roll or it's a non-magnet Magneton. So 2 layers are going to get done. That actually makes me think that it's a Magdoll from Watermess, which makes a lot of sense to me because Endill is very, very spikes reliant. So I think that would be a good metagame call against him. And Watermess, certainly somebody who scouts a lot in general and knows his opponent. It makes a lot of sense to me that he would try to counter team him. I'm expecting some kind of spinner in the back.
Ooh, with the Flygon, I don't think there's a Claydol though, right?
Yeah, the Flygon makes me second guess. I could still see maybe a Starmie or something in the
Maybe a
back.
Starmie, yes. Absolutely.
There's an
Also,
Earthquake. 23.
known leftovers on that.
Ooh, there's not going to be a spinner in the back. This is just straight up physical offense. Now we've got a Hera coming in. Megahorn into Zapdos, 33%. So yeah, it looks like generic balanced TSS for Endill and a physical offense from Mess. It was actually an even trade if there's no spinner in the back. The Skarmory's life for 2 layers is probably a fine trade.
I'm kind of curious about the Flygon item. It's probably like a sub-Salak set here.
Yeah, I can see
But this
that.
Gyarados is a huge threat right now.
Well, there's Zapdos on the other end, right?
I mean, but you would assume it has lighter double edge or HP Rock, and Zapdos has been chipped.
You think he has HP Rock here? He might. You might be right.
I think it's also in range of just double edge though, which is the other option.
Yeah, that would work as well. 2 Meteor Mashes, no Attack Raise, and a Wish, which Rachi could use for himself. The Coon could take it. The Zapdos could take it. A lot of people would be appreciative of the Wish here, but Rachi's going to keep it for itself. Another Mash, no misses or Attack Raises yet, and another Wish.
Interesting here that the Metagross is faster than Jirachi.
I think we're looking at an Asterachi. I think that's why.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it's sassy with minus speed, and I think it might be like a 222-ish Metagross trying to outspeed Tar, so I think that's what we're seeing. We end up with Lax here. I don't know. Asterachi actually seems like a really annoying Pokemon for Mess's team, and of note, he doesn't really have a status absorber either. Not that his kind of team really needs it, but like the Paras are just something he's gonna have to deal with. He doesn't really have a good solution to that.
He kind of needs to explode the Jirachi, I'm thinking.
Yeah, the Rashi seems really strong. This is an obvious boom turn for the doll. We'll see if Mess plays around that. Likewise, Endill, I mean, if he thinks Magneton is coming in, he could just grow a pair and click EQ here, but you would think that it's a boom turn.
I think either way, Endill got like really good value from the Claydol in a matchup where Claydol is not that great.
Yeah, it's not very exciting. Like, I think he got
just
about
having Claydol 1v1 as Snorlax is really good.
Would you boom here or would you Earthquake? He opts for the EQ.
I feel like it doesn't really matter because Snorlax just dies to everything at this point. So Earthquake seems safer.
Well, he gets to keep it as fodder, but I do like the Earthquake in case Mess tried to get cute and go to like Magneton or something there.
Yeah. I think Endill is in a good position that he can afford to just play it safe and Earthquake there. Even though like Mass has a 6-4 lead, I think Endill is in a better position to win the game.
Wow, you'd go that far, huh? You think Endill wins this game?
I don't think he wins. I think he's in a better position. But like the Heracross is obviously a threat, but with spikes plus sand and protect on Jirachi, I think you can handle that.
We
So the
all,
main thing we're looking at here is the Flygon set.
yeah, I mean the Heracross. I mean, if it gets paralyzed, it's going to be a lot worse. We also know that the Zapdos has Drill Peck, which could potentially deal with it. The Zapdos actually seems awkward to switch into for Watermess. Nothing really takes the Thunderbolts very well, other than the Flygon, which doesn't really take Drill Peck or potential HP Ice or Toxic very well. So I don't know. The Zapdos kind of seems like an issue. That's the problem with the Lax specifically getting low, is that it was his only decent answer to the Zapdos.
Exactly. I think it comes a lot down to this Flygon set being good or not, and like maybe the Suicune having Ice Beam. I don't think that it does.
I don't think so either. Now, Zapdos usually when it has Drill Peck is paired with HP Grass, not HP Ice. The reason for that is that if you have Drill Peck, you're already hitting Celebi and Breloom Grass types, so there's not as much value for HP Ice, so you pair it with HP Grass. So that seems to be the case here. He pulls it back, he's shown Drill Peck, he certainly would have HP Ice there if he had it, so I think we can completely rule that out. And now the question becomes, how does Endill beat the Flygon? The T-Tar and the Jirachi both don't love it. If the Coon doesn't have Ice Beam, Coon doesn't love it. Maybe the Flygon is going to be the key here for Watermess.
That's what I'm thinking. I think you gotta rest the Suicune here, like no matter what, because you can't have it that low, because then the Flygon is just a huge threat. I guess it also depends if the Flygon is Salak or Liech Berry in the end.
We've seen Roar, so it's not going to be a Crocoon. It seems really unlikely, though it is possible that it's a Subcoon. I mean, it's probably just the boring old Combine Surf Roar Rest, you would think, which is very safe from the Flygon here, but the issue with that set in this matchup is that the Gyarados can set up on it, especially if it is a Taunt Gyara, it can shut that Coon off completely. And both players taking the time now. It's been a reasonably paced game so far, but now both of them
You know
figuring
what?
out
How I
what to
said
do.
that Endill was in a good position. I kind of take that back. I like Mass position here.
I think it's
What do you
winnable.
think?
I think it's winnable for either guy. I mean, I think that the Flygon is just going to be difficult. I don't think it's a threat because I think the Coon can wall it all day, but I think actually killing the Flygon is going to be a different matter.
True.
And the Gyarados too. If you're right, if he does have HP Rock, like can't you just DD here and
I think
Endill's
you gotta go.
in
I don't
trouble?
like that.
Ooh, it's HP
I guess it doesn't
Flying.
have double edge. But I prefer the Tyranitar switching there over Zapdos. Because Zapdos is how Endill wins this, right? And Tyranitar could take one hit.
Well, he can pass a wish to the Zapdos with the Rachi, but yeah, I mean you got to be careful with the chip. If we're operating that this is just a traditional DD HP Flying Taunt Earthquake Gyarados, that's not as exciting to me in this matchup. And all of a
Yeah.
sudden, I think I like Endill's position if it's that set. I think the Zapdos all of a sudden, what do you do if you're Watermass? The Zapdos is a bitch if it is that set of Gyara.
Yeah, and like Flygon can switch in, but only on Thunderbolt, right?
Yeah, it
Can't
doesn't.
switch in a Drill Peck at all.
Yeah, or even HP Grass would chunk it for a decent amount.
Yeah, so you sack Magneton here. Oh, went for the HP Grass. So Thunderbolt looks like a roll here.
Not that excited about that HP Grass or about that Rachi switch. I mean, what if Magneton just T-waves there or something, or what if he crits you? I don't know. But
Yeah, I agree with both of those.
I don't like the HP Grass there. I mean, are you that afraid of the Flygon? I mean, you could just go back to Coon, right? I don't know. Nevertheless,
And I feel like
he's.
Drill Peck is just better than HP Grass, right?
I
I
think so.
guess HP Grass does more to Magneton, but if you're switching out anyway.
It was pretty unexciting. 20%. Does it even do more? I mean, they're both resisted. Drill Peck, you have Stab. I don't know. That didn't seem
Yeah,
that
but
exciting to
Drill
me.
Peck is a 4 times resist, so it would do less.
Sure.
I mean, it's marginal, so.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the mag doesn't have lefties, so I don't know. I didn't think it had magnet. That was an awful roll on the Skarm if it has magnet. This actually is this an Endure Salic Magneton?
It could be. That would explain the low damage on Skymar, because then it would mean it's timid, right?
Yeah, it could be that. It could be Timid Magnet as well. Either way, it's going to die to Fire Punch, and Rachi has a pending wish that it's about to take. Here comes Heracross, which this is a little
I'm
awkward.
not sure I like that.
Does Endill have to? He might have to stay in here, right? I mean,
Oh, it's leftovers Heracross. I didn't realize that.
Endill might have to stay in and go for a Body Slam or a Fire Punch. I don't. I mean, he doesn't. Rachi does not love Mega Horn here, but what switches? You could go to Zapdos, but you better be right that it's Mega Horn. If you go to Zapdos on a sub or on a Rock Slide, both of those are awful.
I also do think as Jirachi should just attack here.
Do you Body Slam here or do you Fire Punch? You Slam, right? Because neither one kills and you'd rather get a power than a burn.
Yeah, pretty much.
Endill, the one taking the time, still has 2 minutes in the tank to figure this out.
Another alternative is actually sacrificing Tyranitar here and just going Zapdos.
Yeah, you know what? Now that you say that, upon second look, the T-Tar really doesn't look that exciting here. Every single thing on Mess's team that's still alive hits it pretty good. And I mean, it is at 100% though. It feels like a weird sacrifice. Hell, I almost wonder if you sacrifice the Coon. It really depends on what the Tar set is. I mean, if the Tar has like Ice Beam for the Flygon, or if, I mean, the ideal set, right? The dream set is DD Ice Beam here for Endill.
Oh yeah, true, but it wouldn't lead that, like, most likely.
Yeah, why wouldn't you just lead the
And
Zap?
like, I feel like you need Suicune for the Flygon.
What do we think the T-Tar is? Oh, that is so risky.
Oh, that is risky. I mean, it paid off.
Yeah, Endill making plays. He's got the ball. Zapdos low as hell, but it's going to survive. Flygon coming in on Drill Peck here.
So, do you think this is a speed tie? And I wonder what item the Flygon is, if it's Selec or Liechi, because like sub Liechi just wins if it's faster.
Well, I don't think. I mean, Zapdos can't stay in anyway. Neither HP Grass nor Drill Peck is going to kill the Flygon here.
The thing is, if you switch out on a sub, it's so bad.
Can't you just go to Kun? I guess if you sub into Lychee Berry,
then yeah.
The other problem with this play, and the other reason I don't like the Zapdos play, is because now it's really hard to pass a wish to that Zapdos.
Just rock slides. Yeah, the Zapdos is definitely like the path to victory here from Endill. But I don't think he needs health.
You know it's not Crocoon here. Do you just Earthquake it a couple times and go for a crit? And I don't know that I like Metagross here.
Oh, I don't like either of those moves.
I would have just gone Earthquake again, but... Well, there's Rachi dying to the boom. That's going to leave us in a 3-3. Let's see.
It's going to be close.
I think Endill
it's really going to be close here.
I think Endill has to go to Zapdos again. I mean, I don't love it, but like you have to fend off the Gyra and the Hera. So Watermess should go to Flygon here, thinking that the Zapdos is coming. The only other thing is if Endill just makes the ninja maneuver here and goes to T-Tar and tries to set up a DD. He also has 15 seconds on his timer. I would hate to see a timeout, but if he did timeout here, it would count. And he goes to Zapdos.
Heracross on Zapdos. I don't love the Heracross here.
I don't like that at all. It was so obvious that the Zapdos was coming. I absolutely would have gone Flygon there all day.
He really is all in on the Flygon here. I think you just sub here then.
He can't still be playing around HPIs. He must know that Endill doesn't have that. Here's the sub. What do we got? Lychee Berry.
It's Liechi. I think this is a good game. I think Mess sweeps, right?
Let's find out. Ooh, 35 on Earthquake.
+1 Flygon is pretty strong.
Is there any chance that like the world's bulkiest Tar can like roar it out or something? Tar can Tar live +1? Maybe.
If it's really bulky, it could. It's not likely though.
Yeah, I think we're probably done here. Alternatively,
that's what I was saying about sub Flygon.
Alternatively, Zapdos could in theory dodge 2 rock slides, but come on. Or I guess dodge 1 rock slide and click roar.
No, like at this point we're dead to HP bug or whatever the final move is, right?
Here's T-Tar. First of all, it has to survive, which it may not even. And it also has to have Roar. Stranger things have happened. Hey, if it does survive and have Roar, Endill wins because Zapdos cleans up both of them.
Well, he could actually just break the sub and then Zapdos still win. So if he lives
Oh,
here,
that's right,
he's
because he's
good.
faster. Yes, all he has to do is survive. You're absolutely right. And he
He does
does.
live.
Hidden
So
power
it
good
comes down to the
enough.
speed. Like, which one is faster, Flygon or Zapdos? It must be a speed tie. It could be a speed tie.
Can you imagine this whole game coming down to a tie? It might.
Yeah, which one's faster here?
Well, Endel wins if he gets to go first, but he does not, and Watermess takes game one. I don't know if that was a tie or not. Um,
That was so close.
Mixed
I think
Zapdos.
it's not a tie
I was just
because
gonna say
Zapdos is
that.
mixed.
I was just gonna
On
say
mixed
that.
Zapdos, you don't really run max speed, like plus speed.
Correct. A lot of the time with
So,
mixed Zapdos, you hover at like 270 for Heracross, 274 for Smeargle, or 280 for Moltres are all wonderful numbers, but you don't usually go beyond that, and you put some amount of investment into attack. The usual set is like 270-ish speed, max special attack, and dump the rest into attack. So, I mean, I don't know his exact spread, but assuming it's something along those lines, I don't think that was a speed tie here.
I agree. But yeah, really close game. It came down to the wire, to like the Flagon using sub on the switch. Because let's say if Endill attacked on that sub there, he could still have won.
Yeah, that was a tight one. The play-ins so far have been great. Like I said, guys, if you haven't watched the Jabba Kurt series, great games. Got to go back and check that out. Every game close in that one. And this is another close one here, but the reality stands that Watermess is one game away, potentially, this one or potential game three, one victory away from earning a spot in the main event, which is somewhere that a lot of you guys believe he should have been in the first place. And he will prove you right if he can get one more win. That was close. Endill did not look utterly outclassed or like he can't hang with Mess. That game definitely could have gone either way, but game one to Watermess, which is the guy that you guys, according to our prediction thread, believe is going to win.
Yeah, like going into this, I also believe that Mez was the favorite, but like we have seen, it's close.
Know what it's a great time for, guys? While we wait in between games, it's a great time to remind you guys that we are still accepting donations. We have the highest prize pool that we've ever had this year. It's over $1,500 before the main event even begins, which is incredible. We have the most donors and the biggest prize pool that we've ever had. Really appreciate it. I would love to hit 2K so we can pay $1,000 to the winner, which is an absurd amount for Pokemon. Obviously, if you're struggling right now with COVID and all that good stuff, don't donate. But if you have anything to spare and if you enjoy this tournament, you got $5 to throw into our pool, we're accepting it and we would really appreciate it. Back to the match at hand, since we are waiting live and who knows how long it's going to take. Dekzeh, would you make any adjustment for either player if you're going into this next game, or do you just go, hey, that was close, shit happens, let me just load up a good team and see what happens?
So what I have in mind here is that both players know each other much better than I know either of them. And like that leads to a lot of mind games in the preparation, right?
Absolutely.
And at this point, I don't like second guessing myself in the middle of a series and changing stuff. I just go with what I have prepped beforehand. Because I trust myself before better than I trust myself in the middle of a series, right?
I would think so. I think you can easily talk yourself out of bringing what you were planning to bring, or throw away your prep mid-series, and like actually just end up putting yourself at a disadvantage, even though you're trying to help yourself. I think if you did your homework and you have three good teams prepared beforehand, you just stick with it.
Exactly. Because like when you're prepping before the match, you are with the mind clear. You are just analyzing facts and like bring what you really think is best. In the middle of a series, you can get emotional and that can ruin everything.
Here is game two. They've just started. I'm going to switch sides for continuity. So we're going to again have Endill on the top with a T-Tar that has been intimidated by the lead Salamence of Watermess. This is a matchup where people have very mixed opinions as to what to do. I think the general consensus among top players is that usually both Mons should switch, But Watermess doesn't agree, and good thing Endill switched, because that's clearly a choice band brick break that almost certainly would have killed the T-Tar. Instead, we have a Skarm, who's probably going to spike here. CB Salamence is often paired with Magneton. We'll see if Endill respects that possibility.
And that's 2 games in a row where Mess leads with a choice band brick break.
Great scout for
And
Endill.
Gates Cow. Exactly. That's what I was gonna say. So a Salamence or Zapdos pivot there is really good. And he has demands.
Ooh, Watermess has opted for the same archetype twice in a row. He's bringing a Magneton physical offense for the second time. He must believe that this archetype simply makes sense against Endill, and I mean, you can't say that he's wrong. 2 games in a row, Endill has opted for Skarm, and he's going to get it eaten by a Mag, so Watermess getting rewarded for doing his homework. Here's a meta, which has shown that it does have lefties. It's coming in for the first time, so lefties is all that we know. Could be just about anything other than a choice bander.
Oh, he has this one. I was about to say that usually the archetype that Mess is running struggles a little bit with Metagross, but this one part certainly helps.
So the Earthquake there rules out what I thought. I was thinking, based on what Endill has, that maybe all of the Tar, the Mence, and the Meta would all just be mixed and all be things that can like hit Skarm in a different way, so you don't actually need a Magneton or a Spinner. Now that I'm looking at it, it feels to me like Endill might have a Claydol or a Starmie as his last poke in the back, and he's running like an Asta-esque balance team. That's a big thing there. The
Yeah.
controversial bad accuracy sleep moves that everybody's raving about these days is going to connect with Lax, which is pretty big. And Watermess looks like he has like a traditional balance team. Actually, I recall this team from the 2011-12 Pokemon Online days. I've seen the last poke as Starmie or Metagross quite often. Could be either of those for Watermess in the back.
Yeah, I was also thinking Starmie for Endill. I think we can like imagine Starmie being the last for both.
Yeah, I think that's possible. Tricky one here for Watermess. Hasn't seen anything from the T-Tar. Has shown no moves. Has shown no item. I mean, you got to respect the possibility. There's so many things, right? Crunch, HP Bug, Choice Band, Rock Slide. There's a lot of things that could happen here. I can't imagine Watermess could stay, and he could BP, but I mean, I think staying into like Leech Seed here is just begging for something bad to happen.
Yeah, he has to make a judgment call on what this Torrenter set is. And he gets the HP Grass on the
Ooh.
Switch. That's really big by Endo.
Yeah, great prediction. I've liked a lot of the predictions that Endill's made in this set. That one, unfortunately, is a misstep. It would have been great to hit the non-lefties Mence with a crunch there. Back to Skarm we go. 32% Brick Break. He could go to his own Mence, or he could spike up here, but Magneton's probably coming, and it is. And obviously Skarm has no chance of surviving from 50%. So down that goes. 6-5 advantage for Mess, who, like I said, if he wins this game, is in the main event. And one layer of spikes that Mess may or may not have to live with. And now we know that he will have to live with it, because the last poke is certainly not one that you or I were going to guess. We've got ourselves an Umbreon.
Very interesting.
Okay, so that makes me think that this is an all-in on Lax team. I mean, obviously he's got the CB Mence, but I think we're looking at the Pursuit Umbreon removing a Gengar, and I think we're looking at a Magneton removing Skarm, and it's going to be a Curse, Rest, Earthquake, normal move Lax is what we're looking at here.
Yeah, and now we see that the Sing by Blissey on the Snorlax is even bigger than we expected, right? Because the team really has all its chips on Snorlax.
Oh, there's a crit Earthquake. If this
Big
is
crit.
if this is an off pert or even just a defensive pert with Focus Punch, that could put Bliss in a bad spot. But nope, it is just a follow-up Earthquake, which is still doing a lot. This has got to be a modest Bliss to be doing that amount of damage. 41% Earthquake. There we go. It's a Curse Pert.
It's a curse pert. I think it must be a plus speed Blissey with Sing or something. Like really fast. Not plus speed, but really fast Blissey.
Man,
Because I've seen that on Sing.
I don't know about
The
the Ice
curse pert
Beam.
here is really, really scary, by the way.
Yeah, now we know that he has Ice Beam too, so he can't just free Salamence here. Curse Pert, an issue for Endill. Watermess switching it up here. This looked like a generic physical offense, but it is anything but. And Ice Beam good enough to kill the Bliss there with the help of the Sand. T-Tar can at least... Why does he go Salamence? It's got to be mixed.
It's mixed. Yeah, it
Yeah.
has HP Grass.
Yeah,
Has
gotta
some Fire
be.
Blast.
Alright, so that should scare Mess away. Can Endill do something other than HP Grass? Nope, he
Oh,
makes
I
the
think
right
there's an
call.
over prediction there for sure by Mess.
Yeah, he makes the right call. So Curse perk down, leaves us in a 4-4, and now we know the last poke for Endill, Aerodactyl, which seems very good here to me.
Yep, Endill is in a great position here. And has HP Flying.
Certainly, if I had to guess here, I would say we're going to a game 3. That Sing was huge on the Lax, and the Mixed Vents and the Arrow both seem quite difficult for Watermess to deal with in the current situation. I would strongly suspect that we're going to go to a third game here.
Absolutely agree. Which is great. I love that this is going down to the wire.
Well, an over-prediction crunch is going to enable Celebi to eat a wish here, or lack of crunch, rather. He went Brick Break. There's Heal Bell, and now a missed Fire Blast, so some poor luck coming for Endill. Heal Bell woke up the Lax here, but now poor luck for Watermess on a Leech Seed miss, but another Fire Blast miss. RNG not liking either of them right now. Neither one has said their prayers enough. And there is an Ice Beam and a Freeze. Man, the RNG is acting up in this game. Here's the Arrow switch. Ooh, why does he stay?
I guess Mess is gonna try to go for a Snorlax setup, but I mean, can you really ever win with Snorlax here? There's like a choice band Metagross. I guess not choice band, never mind. But even then,
Here's the Lax. I would just go to Meta here if I'm Endill. Alright, Rock Slide's fine too, but I think Meta would have been the nice neutral. Like, if the Lax stays in and Rock Slides you, who cares? And if the Lax switches in, who cares? Like, I think the Meta was the happy medium there, but...
I don't like this Tyranitar here though.
Brick Break, Curse.
Oh, Curse, this is over now. There's no way. Just Crunch kills here. And yeah, we're going to game 3.
I don't actually think he has Crunch. I think he's HP Grass, Brick Break, Fire Blast, Ice Beam. He's the Siglet
Oh yeah,
set.
true. Absolutely, absolutely. I was thinking maybe like a Rest, Mono, Normal, Snorlax, like Rest Lip Talk could maybe pull it back.
Yeah, and they must be ahead of us in real time, but we're seeing the GGs, which is the outcome that I expected from a few turns back. This one, not as close. I don't love the way Watermess played this. I don't think he did like anything egregiously, what the fuck are you doing, but he did leave the Swampert in to die to the HP Grass when he didn't necessarily have to. He did leave the Frozen Celebi in, which let Endill kind of take over the game. Couple small things like that. The mixed vents as a whole seem like a difficult Pokemon for Mess's team. I don't see a good answer for it on the team. In fact, the mixed vents has a super effective move against literally every single Pokemon on Watermess's team. So that obviously makes it a little bit tricky. I think this was a good matchup for Endill. And it didn't really
Yeah.
feel like this one was too in doubt. He
What
won
I
this.
wanna say here is I just don't really love the team choice by Watermess.
Me either.
It's just a team that doesn't win often.
Yeah,
I
I mean,
guess like having the Curse Swampert there helps a little bit. Like Curse Swampert could have done something here. But then it ended up just dying to the mix match because he had no good answer to that. But yeah, just super reliant on Snorlax, and he got like Metagross, Aerodactyl, Tyranitar. Nothing where he could really set up the Snorlax. The one thing was the Blizzard, but he had Sing. So this entire game plan was just ruined, and he had no ways of coming back. So I just don't like the team choice more than his play or anything like that.
yeah, I mean, I agree with you, but I also think it's partially results based. I mean, one thing that I do like about Watermess's team, unlike a lot of these other all-in on Lax teams, it was not utterly do nothing. He actually had 3 win conditions in the Ments, the Pert, the Lax, instead of just one, like a lot of these teams do, which I agree with. I think you need to not have all your eggs in one basket. But as it turns out, just I don't know how you solve the mixed Ments problem with this team. I think the answer is you don't. I think the answer is you just hope you don't play against it, because there was just no switch in at all for Watermess against a mixed Vents. Like I said, it had a super effective move against all 6 of the Mons on Mess's team. What do you do with a Spike down that you can't remove, Spike or 2 down, and a fast Mon that can super effective anything? You're going to have a bad time, and that's what we saw. The other thing with Curse Pert, right, is that unless it is Sleep Talk, which we know that it's not. It's your only rock resist. Magneton doesn't count, so like against like a DD-Tar, against an Arrow, against Immense, you're gonna have a tough time. Like when your perk chooses to rest and it's just out of commission for 2 turns, there's gonna be a lot of sweepers that can become a big issue for you.
Yeah, I don't think he even had rest, right? Yeah, he has like curse over the water move. It still has
Oh, he had
protect.
protect. He didn't have rest. Interesting.
Yeah, he's just susceptible to status,
Yeah,
which
I
makes
don't love
sense with
that
the Heal
set.
Bell Celebi there, I guess.
Yeah, it's an
Like the
interesting
curse
team.
parity in this team is interesting. I like that idea there.
It's interesting. It's truly interesting. Well, that leaves us in the intermission yet again as we wait for game 3. The winner of the next game is in the CALLOUS Invitational 5 main event, and the loser, so close and yet so far. This is reminding me a ton of the summer seasonal finals from last year, which was between these two players. I'm having eerie deja vu right now. Endill did end up winning that set 2-1. Will that happen again? Will he crush Watermess's dreams for a second time? Or will Watermess get revenge and beat his SPL teammate and earn his spot in the CALLOUS Invitational 5 main event that a lot of people think that he deserves?
Something interesting to consider here. Endill has brought 2 Skarmories and Mess has brought 2 Magnetons.
It's true.
Does either of them want to change it up here, maybe, based on that?
One of my biggest critiques about Endill is that I think he's rather narrow in the teams that he can play. I think he only plays like 1.5 styles of team, and I think he's exploitable in the builder. So I think Watermess is probably going to keep. He will at least bring a spinner, but it wouldn't surprise me if he brought Mag for a 3rd time. At the same time, it's Watermess. He could be a kooky builder himself. He's not afraid to take risks. If he goes completely off the rails and just brings some like Jinx offense or something funky, I wouldn't be surprised. But I think Endill is a bit exploitable in the builder. So if I'm Mess, I would stick to the plan.
Yeah, same. I'm wondering if Andy will maybe want to try to switch it up.
I
Just
mean,
because he has gotten the call wrong, and Mass has brought 2 Magnetons to his 2 Skarmories.
both times Watermess has brought Mag, but not Spinner. So if I could conjure up a team, and I would not deviate from my prep, but if I could conjure up a team right now for Endill, I would look at Cloister almost like, hey, fuck you,
True.
Magneton. Hey, no Spinner. Like, I'm gonna spike up on your monkey ass.
Yeah, and just let me spike up on that cursed Swampert.
Alternatively, if Endill must have spikes, which often seems to be the case, he's one of those guys that can't play without them. Maybe he should go for a 4A team and just make some aggressive earthquakes on like obvious spike turns instead of spiking. Just click EQ and win the game on the spot if you catch the Magneton.
Yeah, I think Endo has to like start making those aggressive reads on the team builder.
I've had
Because
those
both times, like he had a Tyranitar lead and Mass had a good matchup against Tyranitar lead. And he had the Skarmory in the back, and Mass had the Magneton for the Skarmory.
I've had that strategy before, and it works almost every time. It takes a really disciplined player to not walk into it. Like, you intentionally set up a sequence in the opening where you switch your fortress into like a Milo or a Swampert or whatever. You intentionally eat the Surf or the Earthquake or whatever, and you get down to like 70%. You get down into range where Magneton will always kill you with HP Fire, but you're still safe enough to not give a shit about another Surf or another Earthquake. It's so obvious on that turn that you just spike, especially if it's your first lair. But if you just click Earthquake on that turn, you catch the Magneton like every fucking time, and you win the game if you catch it.
Yeah, that's a good play because like the risk reward ratio there, you are not risking much, and the reward is just winning the game. So Andrew could definitely try to set up something like that if he's expecting another Magneton team, which at this point I would expect Vance to just bring another Magneton team.
I don't know. Something I've noticed about Mess as a player, which, you can view this as a great thing or a not great thing. I think probably kind of negatively about it, but something I've noticed about Mess as the player is that when he loses a game in a best of 3, he just completely abandons that archetype. All right, fuck this, didn't work. I'm changing it up. He just goes off the rails, which, I mean, maybe mentally it's what he needs to do to get off tilt or whatever, but again, I think you just stick with the plan. If you said you're bringing 3 Magneton teams, then bring 3 damn Magneton teams, man.
Yeah, it all comes down to what you planned before the match. Like I said before, I don't like oh my god, I'm so sorry. I don't like switching up my plan halfway through a set.
I agree.
So just stick to what you planned.
Yeah, I mean, unless you're utterly intimidated by your opponent, unless you're sitting there shaking, oh, this guy's so much better than me, what gimmick do I need to beat him? If you're confident in yourself, if you think that you're a good player and you could beat this guy without having to cheese, just stick to the plan.
But yeah, the fact that they are taking this long to start the game, it makes me think they are not sticking to the plan.
Oh, I
So
think
maybe we're gonna see something wild now.
I think it's Endill that we're waiting on. I think he's got nerves, and I think that he's over there shaking. Oh my God, it's my opportunity. What do I do? What do I do? Let me pee. Let me take a drink. Oh my God, let me hug my dog. How do I win this game?
Yeah, or maybe they're just drinking some coffee and waiting, and we are overreading the situation. Yeah,
I mean,
Mez is just chatting at Smokers here, so it's
oh
probably
yeah,
waiting on Endo.
that's what I said. Waiting on Endill. It could totally be nothing. He could be just using the bathroom. He could just need a minute. It could be nothing. But our job as the narrators are to come up with entertaining scenarios of what they could be doing. I think Endill
Oh
right
yeah.
now is rescuing a baby from a burning building. He saw that his neighbor across the street, his house is on fire, and he's rushing in to save their child before playing this game.
So Endo's the hero here.
I think so. Question is whether or not he'll be a hero in CALLOUS Invitational 5 main event. Bear with us, guys. This is the beauty of live narration. You catch the thrilling moments as they happen. You get to see things at the pace in which they happen. You get to see the pauses and the drama. You get to see authentic reactions because we don't know anything about the game beforehand. But the drawback is when they take 5-10 minutes or whatever in between games, we all just kind of wait. So here we are. Maybe if I'm courteous to you guys, I'll do timestamps in the description on YouTube of when the actual games are. But then again, that might give you spoilers that there's 3 games, so I'm not sure what to do with that. You guys are just
Yeah,
gonna
how do
have
you
to be
handle
patient.
that?
Uh,
Just gonna have to wait.
yeah, basically. And people watching this on YouTube can just go ahead and scroll ahead until you see something other than a Salamence on your screen. Well, so far, it doesn't look to me like either one has played blatantly miles and miles ahead of the other, so I don't feel like one of them blatantly deserves to win and the other does not. I'm pretty cool with either outcome here.
Yeah, like the first game basically came down to one turn where like whoever got the play right won, and then Mass went for the sub on the Switch, which was great, and he ended up winning with Flygon. And the second game I think was won on the team builder, right?
Yeah, I mean, you could view that both ways. You could say Mess's team wasn't good. I don't hate it, but I don't love it either.
Yeah,
The matchup sucked, and Endill clearly
yeah,
had
the
a
matchups
favorable
suck.
matchup.
I don't mean to say that as a critic to Mass team, as it's an awful team, but he got a bad matchup.
For sure.
So the game was mostly decided before it even started. It's very hard for Endo to lose game 2 there. I mean, it can happen, of course, this is Pokemon,
That's
but it
inter-
was very unlikely.
It's interesting though that like Mess got the matchup that he wanted. He brought his Magneton into the Skarm just like he wanted, but the matchup was still bad.
Yeah, there was just too many Snorlax answers. I think he needed to do more with the Swampert, like apply more pressure, but he didn't have much for the Mixmans either, so it was rough.
I mean, I wonder if you have the Curse part and you have the CB Ments. I wonder if you even like. Do you need to go all in on Lax? Do you need Embryon there? I mean, I guess to be fair, the CB Ments and the Swampert both certainly appreciate Gengar not being around, but like, I don't know. I wonder, like, can it just be like Curse Boomlax? Does it have to be Rest Earthquake there, or like, Do you need Wish on this team? Could Umbreon just be T-Tar? I don't know. I mean, the Wish, again, obviously helps the non-rest pert or the CB Ments. I get why he made the choices that he made. I've got to wonder if there's just like one or two little tweaks he could have made somewhere that would have maybe changed things. I'm not sure.
Yeah, what I'm looking at is the archetype seems really weak to mix mans, regardless of what you do, right?
Yeah, I mean, you'd need like my Lotic or something, which opens up a whole different problem. Where's your rock
Yeah,
resist?
because like if you go Milotic over Swampert, then you remove only condition, and then you rely even more on Snorlax. You don't have a rock resist. It's really awkward.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to change it. Like, all right, we don't have room for CB Ments anymore. Let's get rid of it. You get rid of Ments, like all of a sudden, what deals with Heracross? What deals with Breloom? I mean, everything in there
Yeah,
kind of has a job, but no matter what, you just can't cover everything. And yeah, it seems like he just walked into one of those matchups where he just didn't have the answers.
that's how I feel. It's definitely a team that's like more matchup based than most, which is not like a good or bad thing, right? It's just what it is. And he didn't get the matchup that he really needed. That's just how it goes sometimes.
Yeah, a quote that I will always remember, something that Thomas said to me in my very first SPL when I was playing on the Tigers. You guys know that I did so well in that SPL, so this is great advice. He said to me that you don't have to have a good team, you have to have the right team. And
Yeah,
that's something I've always taken to heart. Like, it doesn't actually matter if your team would be good against the field or on ladder or whatever. It just has to be good in this matchup. But here we go. Game 3 has started. Finally. T-Tar on
so that
T-Tar.
is, yeah.
Brick break.
Three
Rock
Tyranitar
slide.
leads in 3 games for Endill.
Ooh. Ooh. Why are we turn 1 rock sliding if you're mess? Alright,
An over prediction, I guess?
yeah, the only thing I can think of is if you think a Zap is coming in, or if he's a mixed tar that wants to stay in for what he thinks would be a Scarm. So, like, he's got Fire Blast or something. You rock slide, you hit a Scarm. Basically, you do something other than switch. And then, oh man, I'm a physical tar. See, look, I rock slid. And then you try to nail the Scarm with Fire Blast. Something along those lines. But that did not work out.
So, I mean, imagine it's a Lumberry Tyranitar from Endill.
Watermess
It could
has
even be a Dragon
lefties.
Dance lead, honestly, because it's faster than Masses.
Yeah, it could be Lum. I mean,
But then again, you wouldn't have Brick Break usually with Dragon Dance, but it's most likely a Lumberry set, I imagine.
yeah, Lum is by far the most likely. There's also random sets where like you double edge yourself into like Lychee or Salic range, or it could be like Rest Chesto, but
I'm not a fan of that Gengar switch in, by the way.
Giga and
Oh, Fire Blast.
I
So it
don't
didn't have
I don't
Crunch.
like that either. What are either of these guys doing?
Yeah, this is a game that has been a little bit weird off the bat.
Yeah, I don't like the initial stay in from Watermess to eat the brick break. I don't like the Gengar switch or the T-Tar stay. It's awkward. And Endill has
So you see the
opted
fast taunt there. That's really good for Mass.
3 times out of 3. Endill has opted for the Scarm.
Yeah, and the Tyranitar lead, so
Yeah, this guy just doesn't deviate. Hidden Power Grass, well, it does more than Brick Break would have to the Gengar, but it's still not exciting.
imagine it's Ice Beam last move, most likely from Tyranitar since it's not Crunch.
Yeah,
Could be
just
Rock Slide, I guess, but he went
yeah,
for Fire Blast from Gengar, so
I think
I
it's
imagine it's Ice Beam.
yeah, I think it's Ice Beam. I think we're looking at the Siglet T-Tar once again. Yeah, I mean Endill, like him or not, I mean this guy does not deviate much. Here he is bringing what feels like the exact same team that he brought in the previous 2 games, and I mean if it wins, it doesn't matter. So more power to you. But if Endill does make it to the main event, this man is going to have to diversify himself beyond this, or he will be exploited by his opponents.
Mez is doing a good job here at applying pressure with the Gengar.
Oh, you've got to think Mess has the lead here, no doubt, right? It's just the flat out 6-5 advantage, and he's got the spike down. You've got to think that Mess is
Yes.
ahead right now. There's no, I mean, the only thing Endill has
And
going
yeah,
for him.
Andrew doesn't appear to have a good Gengar switching. Like, if Celebi is the best he can do, that's really awkward.
Wow, we're going straight to Arrow. You are begging for a Will-O-Wisp or a Thunderbolt right now, and he doubles back to B. I would stay in, and wow. but no
I like
place
that
Kurt.
because the Swampert on the back was quite obvious, and he wants to like maybe try to do something with the Celebi here.
Endill's team seems Skarm vulnerable too. I mean, I get that you have
Absolutely.
I understand that you have a Fire Blast T-Tar, alright, and an HP Fire Celebi, but that really didn't do that much. Skarm seems like a bitch. You've got to think Watermess is liking his position in this game. Hidden Power Fire, sure. Watermess opting for a balanced TSS. He does not bring Magneton. He opts to change it up this time, as I predicted that he would. Like I said, when he uses an archetype and it doesn't work out for whatever reason, he tends to switch it up after. That's a pattern of his that I've noticed in best of threes.
And he's looking really good here, like looking in a really dominating position.
Yeah,
He has like great answers for the Aerodactyl, which would be Endill's main way of dealing damage.
I'm trying to think what the last would be for Endill. I mean, it might just be boring, like a Starmie or something. What I would like it to be for his sake is something like a Moltres, something like a DD Mence, something like an Agila meta. Any of those things maybe could clean from the back, but as it stands, Watermess clearly ahead in this game 3.
Yeah, I'm actually thinking it will be something like a Starmie, but I'm hoping it won't be.
So we've seen only Fire Punch from Rachi. It could have HP Grass here. It could be like a Roro set with Body Slam, 2 attacks, and Wish. Could be a Super Rachi. Yeah, he does have HP Grass, so I'm glad Endill played around that. Unfortunately, in doing so, he's revealed his last poke, which, I don't know, I might have kept that Gengar hidden, but he's gonna
I
have
mean,
to make some plays. He's gonna have to click Will-O-Wisp or
yeah,
something, or just pick a
if
cut.
you're switching Gengar into a Jirachi, no matter what move, it says you're in a bad position. That's not a switch you want to be making.
No, it's not. Now, in theory, I mean, because we've seen 0 status absorber from Mess, so I mean, in theory, this is a free Will-O-Wisp here. But he goes Fire Punch instead, which I mean, I don't hate. He might feel like he needs to fish for crits or burns or whatever to claw back in this game, but he doesn't get that. We see a Jolteon. Specifically, we see an HP Ice Jolteon as the final poke from Mess. So all cards on the table. We know the full teams. And Celebi opting for a recover here. Mess took a free opportunity to fish for a crit. Didn't come. Here's the Skarm. And good Leech Seed on the switch in. So Endill, I mean, doing what he can, but he's down a poke. The spikes are down. We know that he can't remove them. He is doing everything that he can do to claw back into this game, and I don't think he's dead in the water. I think he has more than 0 chance, but I still heavily think that Mess has the clear advantage here.
Yeah, absolutely. The Celebi is a little annoying, but it's not a set that can win a game on its own, right? Which is the issue here.
Oh, it's gonna
But
have
it's
to
definitely like an annoyance for Mass.
it's gonna have to be the Arrow and the Gengar, and one of the problems for Endill now that he's revealed his full team, like Watermess now knows that his Swampert just needs to do its thing against the Aerodactyl. He's not going to ever risk it against the Gengar. He doesn't have to worry, is there DD Mence or whatever in the back. He's just going to keep the Swampert to deal with the Arrow, and I think that's going to make the Arrow largely not as
Yeah.
exciting as it could be for Endill.
Especially alongside Jirachi, you really don't want to have to face both Jirachi and Swampert with Dactyl.
There's a Calm Mind. This might be Super Rachi here. That's a big
That is
Fire
interesting.
Punch.
That's yeah, not was what I was expecting. And also from that damage, it doesn't seem like fully invested Jirachi.
Back to Skarm. I thought he would have gone back to Arrow there, since the Fire Punch I thought was pretty obvious, but he sees it differently. Skarm
So
should
yeah,
live, and does, and gets a lair down. Man, wow, he doesn't roar him there. I guess he's planning on forcing it out with Aerodactyl, but
I think
taking some
that's a
risks.
good play because he has to try to force damage with the Aerodactyl and find a way to win.
Yeah.
And spikes really help. So yeah, this Jirachi is really weird because it's like defensive, but has Calm Mind and 2 non-stab attacks.
Do you go back
You
to
wouldn't really want
Aerodactyl?
like Fire Punch, HP Grass, Calm Mind, Wish.
Do you go to Arrow here? Do you risk the Fire Punch burn?
I think so.
Protect is fine. Okay. Yeah, I think so too. And I mean, we're both gonna, he's gonna feel like an idiot if he goes in and gets burnt because he's fucked. But I think you have to take
I mean, I
Yep.
guess you can like try to go Swampert into Aerodactyl or something.
Don't burn. Don't burn. Give us a game.
No burn. Yeah, give us a game,
Yeah.
exactly. So this Aerodactyl is a threat. There's no way around it. If he clicks the right move every turn, then Endill can definitely come back from
Easier
this.
said than done. I know
Oh,
what.
absolutely.
Give me a move right now before he clicks. What do you do with Aerodactyl? Give me the move. Tell me, Dekzeh. Come on.
Double edge.
Double edge, he says. Okay, I would rock slide here.
On the Gengar, I would double edge here.
I'd rock slide.
Just because the Swampert is at full health, it feels safe to go Swampert.
Let's see.
Let's see what he does.
Endill's thinking it over. I mean, you can Earthquake here. If you think Swampert's going to come in and Gengar's definitely not, you can click EQ, but then isn't Double Edge just better? But then again, what if the Jirachi stays in? I guess that's one reason to go Earthquake. Alternatively, I mean, if you're really sure Swampert's coming in, you could double back to Gengar or Celebi here. I mean, I'd be really surprised if the Jirachi chose to stay in here, but or Watermess does sometimes overpredict and say, you know what, I'm just gonna fucking stay in and attack. Let's see what you do.
And I was thinking here, like, the timer's going down for him.
I don't blame
I would
him.
just double edge. I absolutely always double edge here.
I don't blame him, man. There is pressure. He's doubling the Scarm.
Oh, that's also a good one.
Yeah, that was nice. Let's see.
Because now he gets more layers.
We know nothing about the Swampert other than it has lefties. So we know it's not Endeavorpert. Is it offensive? Is it defensive? Does it have Hydro Pump or Surf? We don't know.
Like, I'm not sure if this is better than just getting double edge damage, but it's still good.
Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, if you were playing around the Swampert coming in, maybe you go back to like Gar or Celebi there. I don't hate this. He might view the Skarm as having use as a wall. I don't know that it does. The Gengar, the Jolteon, the Jirachi all threaten it. So, I mean, this has got to just be for spikes, right? I mean, what's the
Yeah,
other...
absolutely for spikes. Like, Endill's path to win here is getting spikes down and applying pressure with the Aerodactyl.
Yeah, the Aerodactyl and the Gengar are going to have to take it home for Endill. And to be fair, it doesn't look to me like Watermess has a great switch in to an opposing Gengar. Alright, 2 layers each. Neither guy can remove it. We are not done yet. We've got ourselves a game. We've got yet another tight one between two comparable, I mean, clearly pretty even players here. 5-5 situation, 2 layers each. Does he pull the trigger on Roar? Would have
Wow.
been such a good Roar, but he went
That
for the
was
Drill
a
Peck.
wild switch by Mass.
Fire Punch. Now it's Roar. Burn doesn't come. T-Tar finds itself at 8%, 14 after lefties. That might be just out of Drill Peck range, tragically. Awkward spot yet again as the players figure out what to do.
I'm trying to think
Here's a Focus Punch.
on a Roar, yeah.
On the Roar,
But the
okay.
Torrenta is dead spikes.
That's right.
And you got Swampert to hardwall this Jolteon. I'm thinking the Gengar can't touch Celebi from the way it's been played.
There's Thunderbolt. Man, Endill is... I don't know. I kind of like Endill's position now. I'm not sure what happened.
Endill is fighting back really well here.
I think Endill's ahead now. I think Watermess was winning, but I think Endill's got the advantage now. I don't think it's over for either guy, but I actually, if I had to wager right now, turn 41, who wins this game, I think it's going to be Endill.
Yeah. Like, when I said Vance was in a better position earlier, I was thinking this was a Wish Protect Jirachi, which would have been better in this game than this calm mindset.
We've got a Super Rachi here. What do you do if you're Endill? I think you just have to go to Skarm, let it go,
See,
and then force it out with the arrow or the Gengar.
I still don't think it's a Super Rachi.
What do you think the last move is?
I think it's Wish, because it's a defensive Jirachi. Just from the damage it has been dealing.
I'm not
I think it's a weird Wish, Calm Mind, Fire Punch, HP Grass set.
Yeah, I guess at first I didn't love the Earthquake here, but like it's actually fine because even if he goes to Gengar, that's fine, right? Because like it forces the Rachi out, and there's still 3 grounded pokes for Watermass that have to come on the spikes, including the Rachi itself. Yeah, I think you just Earthquake here, and if Gengar comes in, Gengar comes in, but I think you just have to force the Rachi out here.
Yeah, I think so too.
I mean, how much of an idiot do you feel like if you Rock Slide here and like he just burns you, or you Double Edge here and he burns you, or whatever? I think you have to EQ, and I think if Gengar comes in, Gengar comes in, but I think you have to click EQ if you're Endill here.
Same.
Here's
And that's like
Swampert,
cheap damage on Swampert still.
and
It's like relevant damage, honestly.
yeah, Endill sees it the same way that we do. Here's the Skarm trying to fodder itself. It gets roared, actually. We end up with Pert on Pert. So roar Pert, assuming that it has Protect, which I'm going to automatically think that it must. That to
I
me
think
means...
both do here.
Oh, I think Watermess doesn't have a water move on his Swampert, is where I was going with that. I think we're looking at the Ice Beam, Earthquake, Roar, and Protect set. Alternatively, this could be a mono Pert. This could be Roar, Protect, Surf, Refresh.
So do you just get a third layer here, right? And then you heal the Celebi?
I
That
would,
seems such a
yeah,
good
yeah,
position for Endill.
yeah, I would get a third layer here for sure. And there's the
It's a
Surf.
monopert.
Yeah, we're looking at a
It
mono
feels like a
Pert.
monopert.
Yeah,
And Celebi is back to full now. And
last
the Jirachi is low.
last move for the Pert is going to be either Refresh or Toxic. There's Recover. Celebi we know as HP Fire here, which I would click.
The Jirachi is faster though.
That's okay.
But like it's not like it kills with Fire Punch, so
Yeah, I mean, I don't see a point of Leech Seeding here. I would HP Fire, but
same.
got ourselves a 4-4. I think Endill is going to win this game.
I'm thinking the same.
Hell of a
I'm
comeback,
kind of
if
curious
so.
about Mass's Gengar set here. Because it felt like he could apply so much pressure with the Gengar, but he didn't.
Yeah, there's a lot to analyze here if you're into that kind of
Because
thing.
like earlier on, the Celebi was low. He had Gengar out against the Skarmory, and he like switched Gengar out. That was so weird to me because just attacking Gengar gets a lot of damage on something, and Celebi was unsafe.
Sure. Yeah, I agree with you. There's certainly a couple plays from Mess in this that you can look back and be like, what could have been? What if he had made a different play? And both players taking the timer here. Endill considerably lower than Watermess. He's down to just a minute and a half. I mean, he can go as low as he wants as long as he doesn't time out. It would be an absolute travesty to have him time out here and not be in the main event because of that. But that's something that's never happened before in play-ins, and hopefully doesn't happen here in this hugely important Game 3 for the spot. Endill has locked in his move, it looks like. It's now Mess that we're waiting on. Like I said, I would HP Fire here, but obviously Endill can't hear us and is going to do what he's going to do. Now Endill's thinking again. He's second-guessing himself. He had locked in his move, but now he's on the timer again. Both players ticking.
Trying to think, like, how do you try to win as Watermess here? You gotta damage the Celebi and try to go for a win with Gengar.
Yeah, the Jolteon
That's
not having HP Grass really throws a wrench. The Jolteon could clean the whole team here if you had HP Grass, but with HP Ice, I don't know. I mean, you
yeah,
got
and
you,
like it's not even like HP Ice does any damage to the Celebi, so it's not helping at all.
yeah, this is a hard spot for Mess. I think a good strategy for him to win at this point is Endill timing out.
Oh, that's a plan, yeah. But like, I think you go for a Fire Punch here. You try to get a burn or a crit,
Oh, for
and then
sure.
if Celebi is low enough, then Gengar can kind of claim one kill,
Yeah, you've got
and
to
then you
try
go from
to.
there.
There's two things that need to happen here. Watermess needs to start playing aggressively and fish for hacks, and Watermess needs to start playing very quickly and abuse the timer. Watermess is down to 15
Endill needs to
seconds.
play quicker. He
Well,
has 15 seconds
right,
left. That's scary.
well, that's what I'm saying. Watermess needs to just click. Just don't give Endill time to think anymore. Click a fucking move. For the next 5 turns, click a
Yeah.
move. Make Endill make decisions right now. Do not let him think. Don't let him catch his breath. He's low as hell on the timer.
Yeah, the timer is looking like Watermess best win condition, not gonna lie.
Keep the pressure on Endill. I mean, Endill locked at this point because he has to, because 15 seconds. It's now Watermess thinking. He started this with 270. He's down to 90. This is almost a 3-minute tank that we're looking at here. What a
I'm
turn this
really
is.
curious about the Gengar set. Like, really, really curious about the Gengar set.
For which player?
For Watermess.
Giga T-Bolt? Yeah, it could be like Giga T-Bolt, Wow, Boom, or something like that. Or it could have
That's what I'm thinking.
or it could
I'm
have
feeling
Destiny
it,
Bond.
it can't touch the Celebi.
Well, it could have Destiny Bond.
That would be something.
Wow. Lengthy tank here for Watermess. Pushing 4 minutes thinking about this turn. I mean, both players took a ton of time. 2 minutes for Endill, but pushing 4 minutes now for Watermess.
Yeah, this does appear to be the most crucial turn of the game so far.
And it's
Despite
the...
the way the players are thinking so hard about it.
Oh, God, now Endill down to
Endo
10
is back on
seconds.
the
No!
thinking.
Endill...
Just click and move,
Yeah,
Endo.
dude, you don't have time. Here's the move. Here's Gengar. No!
What?
No!
What just happened there?
No!
I am so confused. Nothing there makes sense.
What a throw! Endill goes to Gengar inexplicably, and there's Psychic! God, maybe the timer was the two of them fucking chatting it up privately. Watermess being like, dude, I'll give you $100 if you lose. I mean,
I'm still trying to understand it and I can't.
that was terrible.
Does HP bug?
I don't give a shit what HP that was. Why do you go to Gengar there? I mean, the only thing I can think of is he's saving the Celebi to be safe against the Jolteon. He doesn't want to get swept by the Jolteon, but did he forget that his...
No, like Swampert was it?
Right,
Like
right! Did he forget that Swampert doesn't give a shit about Jolteon?
I think he's worried about Mass's Gengar and trying to preserve HP on Celebi.
I don't
That's what I'm
understand that at
thinking.
all. I can't
But
believe he made that Gengar
what I
play.
don't understand is how Watermess read that and used Psychic.
And
That's
there's
so
Roar!
wild.
Oh my god! He's trying to throw. Watermess is looking like he's gonna win now.
Yeah, I think he is. I mean,
I can't
Celebi could
believe
just
it.
win. I think Celebi can still just win.
I cannot believe it. There's a
Oh,
Torrent
that's a Torrent
Hydro
Hydro Pump.
Christ, what is this game? Here's the Jirachi now that we know has HP Grass. Psychic
No,
there. Comes up
Endo
short!
wins. No HP. What? It's over now. Celebi wins. But how? What happened? What's going on? This endgame was wild. Nothing's making sense here.
Swampert, the final hope for Watermess. The absolute only way that Watermess can win is if he has Toxic as his last move and the Celebi just gets protected against indefinitely from these Giga Drains here. I mean,
Yeah, gotta get the 7 protects in a row.
Good luck.
That's one.
All right, guys, we can do it. Here's a 50-50. You've won a coin flip before. It happens. Here we go. Tails.
True.
Well, here's Watermess.
Yeah, Maz is just saying his good games.
He's
He
not
doesn't
happy
believe he
with
can
himself. I mean, he's right.
Yeah.
He can't at this point. He's right.
Like, that Psychic play was amazing. I thought he was gonna win after that, but I don't understand it.
Well,
I think Endill threw by going hard Gengar there. I think he just stays in with Celebi.
Yeah.
But I get like what he says here that he played too safe. I think he
Oh.
wanted to keep Celebi healthy, playing around the crit burn.
It's not over yet, boys. All right, there's the field
it's over
protect.
now. So yeah, let's go back to that one turn where Jirachi Psychic Gengar switch in. I think on Endill's side, he was trying to be super safe and not risk Celebi getting like crit plus burn and getting too low, because Celebi kinda just won. So I can see like I mean, I don't agree, but I can understand it. But Mass making the call and using Psychic there was insane to me.
Well, the Psychic was unrevealed at the time. I thought all along that it was Superachi and that it was going to be Psychic, but you were thinking that it wasn't going to have Psychic. So now I was starting to second guess, well, what if it isn't? What if it just has like Wish or Ice Punch or Body Slam or something? Why? But yeah, it actually was Super
Okay,
V.
in my defense, that wasn't a Superachi, because Superachi runs max speed, max special attack. That was not max special attack.
Yeah.
That had a lot of bulk.
I know, it was a weird set. It was the Superachi set with like totally different EVs in nature.
Exactly.
Well, that a lot to take in on that one. I am totally going to rewatch all of these games, but
definitely entertaining.
3 close ones. The outcome, though, that's what counts. Endill is going to be the winner here, 2-1, just as he was in the summer seasonal last year. and he is going to earn himself a spot in the CALLOUS Invitational 5 main event. That's pretty cool. Endill's going to
Yeah,
be in the
really
main.
exciting player to watch going into the main event, honestly.
He's going to have to diversify himself instead of this T-Tar Skarm stuff every single game, but I'm looking forward to seeing it. He thought that he underperformed in SPL. He thought that nerves got the better of him, and he's better than the player that we saw in his SPL debut. Here's his opportunity to prove it.
Yeah, let's hope that he can show up his best.
Alright guys, thank you for joining me. Please do hit that like button and subscribe button if you enjoyed the video. Dekzeh, appreciate you being here. I will see you guys 1 week from today. That is Sunday, what is it, September 5th. Yes, where we will be live announcing the pairings for the main event. See you guys there.